Hey, Tony Gasson here, popping in. Now I'm still at my son's soccer event, so with my front row seat, but I can't film and then upload because it'll take too much time. So I'm just recording live. Not expecting anybody to be on here because I didn't announce it or promote it or put it on there, but just popping back on here. They getting ready to play, so I'm gonna have to lock in and watch the game here in a little bit. But I wanted to pop on here because a lot of y'all been asking me about the Ace Metaphor and Keita Rose situation, which I spoke on in a video, but I was talking about other things in there as well, just a lot of fakes and fraudulence. And people always, find out a way to call me a hater and all of that for speaking on certain things, and it's just how people gonna take it, just because most people are jealous people. Most people are jealous if somebody has something or they got something going on or they making some money. But when you find your purpose and you come into who God has called you to be, it'll be impossible to feel jealousy towards anybody, because one of the benefits of walking with God is abundance. And so you have everything you want, everything you need, and in a blink of an eye, anything that you're lacking can be provided. And so I literally feel no jealousy whatsoever towards anybody that's doing anything. But that's hard to believe for people who have a scarcity mindset and they are not living in purpose. They're not walking in their purpose. They don't have anything going on because they feel jealousy. So they try to project that onto those of us who are just simply truth tellers. Those of us who share our truth, who share our opinion, don't make our opinion right, but I share my opinion, I share my thoughts. And with this here Ace Metaphor situation, I ain't put the names in the title because I don't like to make money or get clicks off of using people's name. And so if they're not like a A-list celebrity that everybody in the world knows, then I don't use their name 99.9% of the time in the title, so that my videos are for the people who watch my videos regardless and based on the topic that I'm speaking on. But it looks like the situation, like the little breakup situation on the podcast, is real. I don't know really why people are surprised. It's kind of shocking to me to see the level of discernment, how low the level of discernment is in our world, and why people are surprised. But it also is understandable because it's still women and men who lump me in with Ace Metaphor and Derek Jackson, and they can't discern a difference. Like, they don't have the discernment to tell that I live a completely different lifestyle. So in that, me being falsely accused and lumped in with guys who live the complete opposite lifestyle of me, it helps me understand the lack of discernment. Because if anybody knows me, they know that I'm living what I'm teaching, and I am 1,000,000% faithful to my wife. That my wife is the only person on the face of this earth that I'm sleeping with. And anybody who knows me knows that. Now, some of these men sleep with men. Some of these men might sleep with dogs or cats. So, or blow up dolls. So I'm not discriminating, but when I say my wife is the only person that I'm in an intimate relationship with, you could search as high and low as you want to. Ask anybody in the absolute world, and you won't find a single soul that I'm dealing with outside of Cherie Gaskins. And that will remain the same as long as I'm walking with the Lord. If it ever changes, then you know I turned my back on the Lord. Because God is not going to send you into battle, spiritual warfare, and not equip you with what you need to win. Now, not Ace Metaphor, because Keita Rose is telling all of his business. And what she sound like, what it sounds like she said is that he's sleeping with assistants, that he sleep with handicapped women, and he sleep with audience members, is what I gathered. But that could be the telephone game. So not him, but it was brought to my attention that another podcaster, because I never heard Ace Metaphor claim to be a Christian. I heard him say when he and I had a discussion, the surprise discussion that he knew about that I did not know about, I heard him say on that he grew up in the church, or he used to be religious or something like that. He obviously not walking with the Lord now with the life that he living. And the young lady is telling the business. But honestly, overall, I'm not. A lot of people get into the narcissist stuff and try to, everybody is a psychiatrist and all of that. A narcissist, that is a diagnosis. So you can't be an armchair psychiatrist and fully understand a narcissist. You can't Google the stuff and fully understand a narcissist. And what a lot of people... To do that,
you'll need a data plan from your vehicle manufacturer.
What a lot of people... Y'all forgive me. What a lot of people describe as a narcissist is, from what I've seen as a man and as a relationship coach, is it's about 60 to 70% of men. Like, and I know it's different levels, but the longer you with a man, the more you'll see them different parts of him. But people get so adamant about that because of association bias and the pretty box bias. You know, I'm making up my own terms. Is when we go through something, we need to be able to label it, and we need to be able to understand it. That's why everybody is so big on closure, and everybody wants to do a coaching session to talk about closure and to say, hey, should I go to my ex and get closure? Because the human mind struggles when we don't have closure. So what people have done is overused and abused the word narcissist. Now, I believe Ace Metaphor could be a narcissist, but this one thing that I feel and see is that if you went on tour with him, then you on the other side of the coin. It's two sides of the same coin to me. Because if you're not like him, then his spirit is going to disrupt your spirit, and you're not going to want to sit down with him. I could tell without even meeting him, without even knowing him, that he was my complete opposite. I could tell that from a distance. Just by seeing a few 30-second clips of him, I could tell he was a fraud. So I kept my distance. So when he emailed me to ask me to go on tour with him and Stephen Speaks and Derek Jackson, I told him no, because I could tell that they are the complete opposite of me. I knew it would be hundreds of thousands of dollars made, possibly millions. I knew that. I knew that had I sat down with them on that panel, it would have validated, it would have sanctioned the environment, and it would have been twice as many women to come out, because they know that I really do this, and I would have been the only married man on the panel. So I would have brought another perspective and a different type of balance, and I know my merchandise table would have went crazy. But I don't do what I do for money. I do what I do out of obedience to God, because he spared me. And that's what a lot of people don't understand, because they try to say Tony is a hypocrite because he's telling us to do what he didn't do. That is the point of mistakes, so that you can teach people to do it differently. That would be stupid of me to come and say, hey, I lived in fornication until the age of 23, so you should live in fornication too. What sense does that make? What sense does it make for me to come and say, hey, I lived in fornication, and my wife and I were together for 10 months in fornication before we got married, and we worked out. So you should fornicate too. And if you get married in 10 months, you'll be celebrating your 18-year marriage anniversary next month like we will. That would be stupid, because I realized that God graced me for a time such as this. He allowed me and my wife to make those stupid decisions, get married in 10 months, get it right, and still be married today, to be an example of what happens or what God can do when you stop doing what you want to do and you do what he want to do. I preach on not fornicating because I'm walking with the Lord. When me and my wife was fornicating, we weren't walking with the Lord. We weren't going to church. We weren't praying. We weren't reading our Bible. We were in a backslidden state. We knew of God. We grew up in the church, but we were living like Ace Metaphor living. So but I was also 21 when I met my wife. We was together for 2 months, broke up for 6 months. When we got back together, we was together 10 months, and then we got married. And I turned 23 2 weeks before my marriage. So I really got married at 22. I turned 23, no, 2 weeks after my marriage. I turned 23 March 8th. We got married March 30th. So I was a young man. So I'm not going to come as a 40-year-old man and say, hey, live the life that I was living when I was 21 and 22. That would be stupid. But that's what some of these Jezebel loose booties, men and women, want me to do. They want me to condone their sin just because I sinned. So they want me to tell them, hey, it's okay for you to stay in sin. I'm not going to tell you that because I'm not living in sin. So I'm going to tell you, on this side of it, this how you want to live, righteous. I'm not going to ever tell somebody, hey, yeah, stay in sin, because I used to be in sin too. No, because I was broke, busted, disgusted, dumb, desolate, lost, confused, hurting, broken, traumatized. That is not the life to live. So with this situation here, to me personally, looking at it, it looks like they had some type of fallout and they decided to go their separate ways. What happened to the guy Ace is what happens to us all men when we come into newfound money, when we come into real money and making millions. We take a stupid pill for a little while. So it sounds like he took a stupid pill, but it also sounds like the landscape starting to change in that space because of people like myself speaking up, and then because of people that seen it. So it's like, once you see their stick once, you've seen it a million times. It's no need. Like when I was doing tours, I would have the same people come out to the same event 4 times in a row, because every time I'm teaching from the Holy Spirit with no PowerPoints, with no note cards, and I'm teaching lessons that will change your life. So people will continue to come. With what they're doing, it's a dead horse, and you can't keep kicking a dead horse. Nobody wants to. When you come into any level of enlightenment, most of their money was made on tour because humans are purposeless, bored, and nosy. If you are living your purpose, you are not going to a tonight's conversation event. You're not doing it. You don't have the time. You don't have the energy. You don't have the bandwidth. You can look at one 30-second clip and tell that it is the lowest level conversation you're going to have. And the guy that they had on there that they was milking, the guy tripped. If you from any kind of black neighborhood, you know that his wisdom is a dime a dozen. It's like a shade tree mechanic. It's not something that you just, if you got sense yourself and you got wisdom yourself, you're not going to be impressed. Because one thing you're gonna require is not just somebody talking and sounding good. You're gonna require a lifestyle that backs it up. So that's what they was trying to hang their hat on, is his poetry, meaning the stuff he would say, which anybody and everybody can do that. You can do that if you want to do it. Like, we all can sound good, but can you apply it in your life? Get married, be faithful, clean your life up, and live right. That's what not everybody is willing to do. Everybody is capable of it, but not everybody is willing. And so with the young lady, to me, it sounds like essentially she dropped everything and she gave everything up to be a part of this show. And now that there's been a change of heart on his part or her part, she want her weight in gold. I don't feel like at all she's a victim. I don't feel she's a willing participant. She saw him, she made a choice, she watched him. She was, and while she was being paid, she was complicit. So as long as the money was flowing, she was there. So I don't see that as victim. Not once have she said he choked her, he slapped her. None of that is. She's using the term financial abuse and narcissist and all of that. That's neither here nor there, because if you ever had a man as your head coach, he the same way. If you work with Steve Jobs, with Mark Zuckerberg, they the same way. That's if you had a mean daddy, if you had a strict daddy, like that's I don't. The whole big bad wolf narrative that they giving the guy Ace metaphor, I don't see it. That is a little lame, insecure man. If you allow that to intimidate you, to finesse you, to finagle you, to scare you, then you need affirmation, you need coaching, you need therapy. Because it's just an immature game he running. It's not no high level, deep, methodical. It's just a broke guy who found a stick to make money, and the money went to his head. It's not as deep as y'all trying to make it. Like he just some all out, the worst, most toxic man to ever walk the face of the earth. And I'm not on his side at all. I'm just calling a spade a spade. That's a normal, lame man who grow up to be a grown man and got famous. That is what you're gonna see from every Revenge of the Nerd. From every lame, you will see the same behavior. You will see the same exact behavior. And if all of that is a narcissist, then okay, a narcissist is a lame who grew up to get money then. Well, that's one version of it. But it's just that they want that money. That money got to getting funny. The egos went to flaring. He made promises he didn't keep. That's everywhere. That is everywhere. So you got to have a strict contract. You got to have something you could go to court by. And he offered her $500,000. He don't have $500,000 to give her. And he obviously don't want to give her $500,000 because that's why he recorded the conversation and released it. Trying to say she trying to extort him. And frankly, that's essentially what it is. Because when it's extortion, because and in the court of the law, that's how they're gonna see it. They're gonna see it as you hanging threats over his head, and you're threatening to tell stuff on him, but you will be quiet if he pays you. That a young lady did that to Mark Jackson, the former NBA player and NBA coach. He called the police, and she and her boyfriend got arrested because they were saying, you're gonna pay us or we're gonna tell what we know about you. You can't do that. You got to go to court. You can't, all the recording stuff and all that, you got to go to court. Like, you can't just, because when you go to court, they're gonna say, so you got on a podcast and y'all were teaching people how to get peed on and how to suck ding-a-ling and how to fornicate, and y'all fell out, and because you gave up everything, now you want him to pay you because y'all had a disagreement and y'all are no longer friends? Okay. And the judge is gonna say, you asking for more money than I make in a year from a black man who is a podcaster. Y'all are wasting my time. The judge go grab that gavel. I don't care about your narcissist. We might have a narcissist running the country. Kanye West might be a narcissist. I do not care about your narcissist. I'm not giving you no money because you did business deal with a narcissist. They don't care about that. You got to have a legitimate lawsuit. You got to be able to say, he drugged me, R-word me, he punched me, put hands on me. They not gonna, they don't qualify words in the court of law. They don't qualify mind tricks in the court of law. They don't qualify that. But see, he trying to save his money. But the thing about it is we live in such a lost, confused, backwards society that the real is fake and the fake is real. So they call me fake. They say I'm cheating on my wife. As loud as I'm is, and me doing a video every day, they say I'm cheating on my wife. Y'all gotta forgive my son playing 11v11. And so with all that right there being the case, it's like we live in that kind of world. So is his business gonna be over? No. Because a lot of people who follow him and on his mailing list and go to his events probably don't even do social media like that. And so what's gonna happen is he gonna look and see Derrick Jackson still making money, still got a following. Stephen Speaks is not married, still giving relationship advice. We got out of shape trainers on Pop the Balloon. We got broke financial advisors. We got credit repair specialists with bad credit. Oh, I keep my stick going. And then if the guy trip go to going broke, he left the conversation too. They'll be done reunited and come back, and it'll be a Trippin' Ace tour next. It'll be a man-to-man, how not to get extorted by these gold diggers tour. And the red pill will be right out there at that tour stop. Yeah, these light-skinned, loud, bipolar women will take you for all your money. And I'll say that because that's what she said. She said she bipolar. She said she had a manic episode on that recording, which I might be bipolar and I might be manic, because what she did on that recording, I done did that before. I done did that. I ain't do it that loud, but that's how I got my free Hellcat $80,000 car, because they ran my credit 4 times when I came in with a pre-approval from my bank, and they still ran my credit. So I turned the car back in that I was buying for my niece, which was a $50,000 Jeep Wrangler that I was buying my niece, and I turned it back in. I went to the barbershop. I was telling my barber about the story and got mad. I went back up to the dealership. I said, oh, y'all owe me. Cause I said, you done ran my credit. And you weren't supposed to run my credit, so now you done dropped my credit score. I say, I could lose 1 to 4 points per credit pull. Let's say I lost 4 and you pull it 4 times. I lost 16 points. I say, sir, you finna give me the most expensive car on this lot. He said, sir, I definitely am not giving you no car. I say, if you don't give me no car, I say, you finna be on channel 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And I'm gonna tell them how you doing business in here. And I say, sir, today your date with destiny. So what she doing to Ace, I done did that before. So that's how I recognize, I know what it looked like. But it's different though. What she's saying she was being wrong, she's not really fully saying it. Like, what was it exactly? Like, what exactly was it? Like, did y'all have a contract he not honoring? He's saying he paid you every single dime for every single day. Or is it just that, because what it sounded like is that they parted ways, they fell out, they parting ways, and then now she left her radio job and she had to go back to get that job, and they might not be hiring, or it might not be as easy to go back and make the amount of money that she had started making on this here show. And so she's saying, hey, because this and here done fell out the way they fell out, and because the way you did business, you owe me, because you nasty and you narcissistic and you do this. So you owe me to give me some time, to give me some cushion to be able to get back on my feet. Because so essentially it sounds like she asking for severance pay. But if he's a narcissist, like y'all say, it don't sound like he dealing severance pay. And then if he put the part of the recording where he told her, he offered her $250 this year, $250 that year, trying to make like she extorting him, that let me know he coming to play dirty. Like he coming to play. He come. Oh, you want to play? All right. It don't look like he ready to just fold. But to be honest with you, one thing about money that a lot of people, if you have not made $1 million in a year, in a 12-month period, then you may not understand this about money. But it spends. It don't matter how much money you make, money spends. Because there is always something that costs more than what you can afford. So anytime, so with all of this tour stuff, with all of this merchandise, he could be feeling just over broke right now. Because when you also make money, the way life starts to happen is everything starts to go wrong. Your mama need a new kidney. Your dog done tore his ACL. I got a friend right now. They dog done had 2 ACL surgeries, and they don't have puppy insurance, and it costs $10,000. Like random stuff start to happen. Your plumbing go bad in your house. You need a new roof, and before you know it, you could be a millionaire to brokiana in 30 days. And so me personally, I don't believe he just sitting on no whole bunch of money, because if so, he would have just gone broke off in the beginning before she had to do a video, because she done made it clear, if you give me what you owe me, I'll sign an NDA right now and won't say nothing, and I'll be a blessing to the other people you done wrong. But it sounds like he really ain't got it for that. Like he trying to build his house or do what he trying to do, put up college fund or whatever he got going on. He ain't trying to hit that. And see, this is the thing what I try to tell you. So when he came to me for the Derek Jackson and the Stephen Speaks tour, I told him no. When he came to me for the Tonight's Conversation tour, I told him no. Because I could feel his spirit. But see, you won't have discernment if you're not truly walking with God. So everybody that got up there on that stage with him, including Iyanla Van Zant and all of that right there, don't have discernment. To a goal that is sustainable with longevity, it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. Y'all forgive my thing tried to cut out. Did it go? Nope, missed it. Come on, son. Got to pick it up. This is a big field now. But hey, I'm about to get on out here. Ooh, it's 46 degrees. They told me it was hot out there. It don't look like it's hot now. 46 degrees. So now this right here, I'm gonna be moving this here to my blessed tribe. But listen, as creators, man, you got to find ways to make money, and you got to do it legitimately, above board, or add value, or what have you. And for this right here, it sound like it don't sound like it sound like trickery. Sound like trickery, and like he ran a game. But it don't sound the way people trying to make it out to be. Like it was just, it don't sound like no P. Diddy saga or nothing like that. Like P. Diddy and Cassie. It just sound like they had a difference of opinion and fell out. That money done got funny with that show. And now the sister, she want what she owed, what she feels she owed. and he don't feel like he owe her that. He feel like he done paid her everything. But see, that's the problem though with him. See, in a normal business, had it been me and I made promises financially or said things I'm gonna do, and then come to find out I can't do it, and I tell you I can't do it, guess what? That's life. Like, people go to work with the promise that you're going to have a job and that you're going to have a pension and you're going to have a 401k. People losing their pension right now. People losing their funding right now. People losing their job right now. People losing a lot right now. Things change. That's life. That is life. But see, the thing about it is you can't do that when you got skeletons in your closet. You can't throw rocks if you live in a glass house like they tell you. So that's his problem. All they would be able to say about him is he made promises that he did not keep. And all he would be able to say is, listen, I made promises. I said what I wanted to do, what I thought I could do, and the situation changed. That's life. And that'll be that. We'll be moving on. But because he was living foul and they got dirt on him, that's what make what he is doing, which is the same thing. What he doing is what every company in America does. They hire employees, they sell a dream, they make promises, and then the economy changes, their plans change, their vision change, and then they start sending out pink slips. But you can't do that if you don't live above board. So if you're out here manipulating women, you're sleeping with women, you're doing all this and that, you're gonna get flamed. Now somebody got something to hang over your head. They got something to say about you. And then people gonna look at it and be like, oh, you this and that. But when you really get to the core of like the business side of it, it's every business go through what they going through. Every business go through changes where they say, hey, we can't provide lunch no more. Or hey, we're not gonna be able to provide flights no more. We're not gonna be able to provide a company car no more. We're not gonna be able to provide 3 weeks of vacation. We got to cut back to 2. Hey, we're gonna have to let X amount of people go. That's money, that's economy, that's business. But when you're doing dirty business and you preaching one thing, which is supposedly healthy relationships, but you out here slaying these women like demons, and you out here meat legging, and you got all that going on, now you don't get the opportunity to change your mind. You don't get the opportunity for your business model to change because you're gonna have to pay the piper because of how you did business. And so the sister holding her feet to the fire, but she still ain't really said nothing. It's almost like she know more than what she telling, and he know she know more than what she telling. But I think that he realizing that he feeling like she don't really want to tell it, and so he calling her bluff, and she trying to do the settlement with him so that she don't say nothing else. And it's like he may or he may not give in and get that money up, because at the end of the day, it's like, listen, Chris Brown and Rihanna went through that right there. Chris Brown still torn. After women seeing pictures of Chris Brown of Rihanna's face, they still now pay $1,000 to wrap their leg around Chris Brown. That is the environment that the world has created for men to be able to dog women out or do women wrong, or do anybody wrong, and still be able to keep going with their life. And that's the unfortunate part about this. So that's why I try to tell y'all, you gotta stop empowering these men who are not living what they teaching. But yet, when I say that, I'm a hater and I'm jealous. But what I'm telling you is, when you take and you reinforce these fornicators, these manipulators, these liars, this the type of stuff that happen. They play in your face. And then there's no repercussions or no recourse, because women don't oftentimes trust women. A lot of times women don't feel pity for women. Like, look at the millions of women that's going to Chris Brown concerts and they saw Rihanna's face. They don't care. They like, that's her. That's her. That's her face. That's the past. That's the past. It ain't got nothing to do with me. Child, she'll be all right. Child, I don't know what Rihanna did. Child, I'm finna pay this $1,000, put that monkey on Chris Brown. Child, please. And that's how a lot of women treat other women. It's not really a sisterhood. So it's gonna be half of the women that believe Keita Rose, and it's gonna be half of them that feel like she full of it. And the thing about it is, I don't know if she said that she bipolar and she have manic episodes. I don't know why she be doing the talking how she be doing. Like, I can't really take her serious. And that delivery and perception is everything. But when somebody talking and they be like, what are we doing here? It's just like, at that point, it's like, okay. Like, if this is serious and this is narcissistic abuse, then we need to be serious. We need to have a serious conversation. Like, this not time for your personality. This not time for your caricatures. It's not time for all of that, because if you're trying to get a serious message across, you got to be serious. And if that's serious, and if you cannot control that, if you have to, here we go today in a Mojo Jojo. If you cannot control that, I used to work in a group home, and they couldn't control it. They had schizophrenia, they had bipolar, they had different things, Tourette's or whatever. Just if you can't control it, then it's like people gonna look at you and be like, okay, like, is this funny? Is it a game? Like, were you abused? Were you not? Like, what's going on? And so half of the room gonna be lost, to where you just gotta come and you just gotta talk. Like, just talk and tell your story, and just go ahead and tell your story. And so that right there, that's part of the issue. And so that's gonna make, because what you got to realize is it's levels to that narcissism. So it's certain women that they're gonna feel it because they done been with a narcissist, but it's other women that they done been with another level, a higher level, and they're gonna be like, I don't know, because it's some women who done been through narcissistic abuse and they struggling to pick themselves up off the floor. They can't really talk. They can't really do voices and caricatures, and they can't even imagine that. And so those women and men who have gone through that, they're gonna discredit, and they are discrediting the message. And like, hey, can you tell this story regular? Like, we don't need you to be animated. We don't need you to be funny. We don't need you to be entertaining. Like, just tell the story. And so, and she showed that this people was asking her that, and she was saying no. And then she was like, boring bees. And so that discredits your message when you use the B word so loosely. And it's women who want to hear from you and they want to side with you, but then you call them boring B words because they asking you to stop doing caricature voices. So it takes and it discredit the message, and it give the guy Ace, it give him something to play on, because then he get to kind of play to, she crazy, y'all, she crazy, she lying, she making this up, she like one of the kids in the group home that be lying on the man who worked there, saying he touched her when she wanted to get him fired because he didn't let her have a cookie at 11 o'clock at night. She wanted a cookie and Coca-Cola, and he told her no. And so now he touched me, and so it gives him that space and opportunity to make her look like she crazy, make it look like she lying, she full of it, she this and that. And so this where we all have to like learn and grow. And this is why I'm saying this for those of y'all who you dealing with abuse or what have you. If you're gonna come out and tell your story, then you have to understand the mental side of people, and just like perception is reality. Perception is reality, and just our world is so not understanding and so unforgiving to where people, it just ain't going, it ain't gonna go over well. So hey, man, that's my piece on this. I feel like that it's kind of one of them things of like, it's grown folks. I don't feel sorry for nobody. I don't feel like the guy is a big bad wolf and he just was out there like a tyrant and just just out there, sticking cucumbers in women booties and just, dogging them. It just sounded like that he got in over his head. He wanted to do something. He had to start lying and deceiving, and he was talking in the moment. He making promises that he can't keep, and he changed people's life. Like, he changed people's life, not the audience members, but meaning them finances changed some of them people's life. And then now that they parting ways and stuff like that, man, if you made 250, it's hard to find a job making 250, because the young lady said she was making 50 at the radio station. So if she made 100 or 150 or 200, your lifestyle changed, and you gotta keep that lifestyle up. And if this is abrupt, fallout, then on a regular job, you get severance. It's not no regular job, ain't no severance. Ain't no severance if it's not a regular job. And you can't expect the entrepreneur to give you a severance pay as an entrepreneur if you didn't have that in a contract, because he's a liar, or because he's a fornicator, or because he sleep with the people that's coming there. That's the industry that you're in. That's what all them guys doing, living nasty, living foul. And those type of guys, you can't expect decency and integrity and severance pay and payouts or settlements from a guy without character, for somebody who don't have high character, for somebody who would be talking about love and relationships, but then sleeping with the women who come into the event. You can't expect somebody like that to move and to be above board and to do the right thing. He gonna play in his narcissism or whatever he is, because that's who he is. And so you can't expect him to come and now move like a pastor with integrity, or a man of integrity, and make it right and do the right thing. When, and she said, like, he would try to say stuff that, like, telling women don't be mad if you getting cheated on, and that's the only thing that he's doing wrong. The only thing he doing wrong is cheating. Don't get mad. And she would try to say something like, nah, cheating is cheating, cheating wrong. And he'll get mad at her, and then he silenced her. And that's the thing. It's like, when something is not right, and it don't have nothing to do with like physical abuse or, financial abuse, when you sense something that's not right and you don't stand up and leave, and then when a fallout happens, you leave, and then you want to be paid, it's hard for that to happen, because people will look at it, and I see a lot of people saying like, oh, she was complicit, she was there, she saw him sleeping with the handicapped women in the wheelchair and didn't say nothing. But now that they on the outs, now she want to tell the business. And that's just our world. That's our world. That's, like, I see what she's saying. Like, the way I see it is like, she's saying, listen, you made these promises. I quit my job for you. I'm going around the country from you. I'm making a living. And then now this happened. Nah, I got a child to take care of. I got bills to pay. We in a bad economy. We need to make this right, because there was some lies and some deception and some things like that. I get that. I get what she's saying. But it's like, she wasn't working for a corporation. She wasn't working for a man of God. She wasn't working for a person with integrity. Like, she wasn't, because that happens. I done hired people, and within a month, have to let them go. It happens. Like, things change like really fast when you in business. But it's like, that's life. So, but if it's something deeper than that, like something he did to her physically or financially or whatever, that he need to pay her for, and she's saying, I'm gonna tell if you don't pay me, and he's saying, no, you ain't gonna tell because you in it too, or it's gonna make you look bad too. So it's look like all this right here playing out right in front of us. And it just, y'all keep tagging me in it and sending me the videos and all of that. And to be honest with you, I normally wouldn't even speak on nothing like this because it's just so low level to me. Because it just seems like an industry fallout. And it just happens every day. I've been working in this industry 15 years. Like, it happens every day. And 10 times worse happens than this. So it just seemed like with the California fires and the planes crashing, you know, we got so much more to focus on, so much more to worry about with the economy, with the government. It's a lot more to be going on than this right here kind of stuff. And so hopefully we can figure this here out and this will move on. And then maybe next time y'all listen when sounding boards is trying to give you a heads up on people and trying to tell you about people. Because, you know, when this right here happened, then the young lady, Keita, started following me on Instagram. She didn't follow me before. So it was like people saw me as a hater and they had picked sides. But then now they see how his character showing up and they see who he is. And then it's like, oh, Tony was right. And that's what I try to tell you. I don't have a reason to hate. It's nothing another man has that I want, that I can't have. It's just, that makes absolutely no sense to me. I have zero reason to hate on any man on the face of this earth. Anything I want, I can have. I serve God, I live an abundant lifestyle, and God has blessed me. Mind, body, spirit, I'm peaceful. If I say something about somebody, it's because I'm sensing something in my spirit, and it's coming from a place of discernment. It is never in a million years coming from jealousy or hate. Never. Because it is a lady today got blocked talking about I was hating on the guy from the church, 98-19 or 59-19 or something. And it's like, why would I be hating on him? I simply question, why is he want to buy a building for $7 million and then spend $13 million to refurbish it? Like, I'm just questioning, how are you finna pay double what you pay for the building to refurbish it? And saying you got to do that in 2 years. I'm like, it's $20 million you're trying to raise in 2 years. I'm like, that's a question. And I know how dangerous that is, because when that money come in, you could get taken advantage of, but you also can get tempted if you never had $20 million staring you in the face. And so that's why I say pray for the brother. But I say that's dangerous territory. And then people are like, oh, you hate. What I'm hating for? If I started a church, it'll be as big as any church in America. Tell me it won't. That's just how it works. It's just how it works. If you got a word, it's the same way. I got 1.8 million people on Facebook and 900,000 on Instagram and 500,000 on YouTube. I didn't pay for it. I just share a message. And so if I want to be a mega pastor, I could be a mega pastor. I don't want to be a mega pastor. I have no desire to be a mega pastor. I don't want to be in the same building every Sunday looking at the same faces. I want to be digital where my message reach the whole world. And I could be standing here right now watching my son play a pickup game in soccer while talking to you, and be here tomorrow on Sunday. If I'm a mega pastor, I can't be up here at this soccer thing on Sunday. I got to be there at church every single Sunday as a shepherd over that flock. And so people have to understand that not everybody talking is hating, because some of us ain't got no reason to hate and ain't got nothing to hate on. So you got to understand that sometimes when you're looking at people who have lived their life and they living their life above board and they doing the right thing and they carrying themselves the right way, when we start talking, maybe look at your life and look behind the doors, look behind the scenes and see like, oh, am I being offended and convicted because of how I'm living? Am I dealing too much with these dildos and this porn and this fornication, this weed, this drug, this alcohol? Is that why I'm offended by this person's stance, this person's message? You got to really look at it and then evaluate it and see, and stop feeling like somebody trying to be better than you or look down on you versus somebody trying to look out for you and trying to help you get your life right so you don't spend your eternity in hell, and trying to put you up on something that has worked and that is proven. Not no fairy tale, not no myth, but the one and only true God in Jesus Christ. And you got to realize and understand that. And so when it's working for us and we sharing that message, we sharing the gospel, it's a reason we sharing the gospel. It's a reason we saying consecrate yourself, live right, sacrifice, do the right thing. And so that's why I'm gonna start leaving room. That's why I don't leave room for the devil. On this video right here, I'm cutting the comments off. Because I don't care about what nobody else got to say. But my opinion on my page. And all that back and forth and all that right there. And people gonna put my name in videos and talk about me. And Tony got said this, Tony got said that. Tony got don't understand this, he don't understand that. That's why we all got a mouth. That's why we all could get a page. And that's why we all have an opinion. And it's just point blank period. So like Malcolm X said, chickens coming home to roost. So with what the young lady going through with the guy, nobody knows all the details. But I don't look at it like no victim situation. I don't look at it like no real live abuse. I just look at it like a guy who, without integrity, showing you who he is. Point blank period. That's it. And when you sign up for that, that's exactly what's gonna happen. So what you have to do is get a lesson. Don't go into business with somebody who don't live right. Don't get in a relationship with somebody who don't live right. Don't be friends with somebody who don't live right, because you're going to end up being lied to, taken advantage of, mistreated, and then abused. And so when we see people going through stuff, don't get caught up in just the entertainment factor and being entertained. Get a lesson. Learn from it. Are you in a bad situation right now? Are you in a bad business deal right now? Are you doing something that you shouldn't be doing right now? What are you doing? Get a lesson from it. Do you need to leave that friendship you holding on to? Do you need to leave that relationship? Do you need to leave that business partnership? Are you being finessed, finagled, mistreated? Get a lesson from it. And always remember that you can't really believe none of what you see, and so you got to go deeper, and it got to be confirmed in your spirit. And don't let anybody make you feel bad about your discernment, your feelings, and how you reading something. And I think that's what happens in society is we get so caught up and we just look at things one way. Like I love everybody in Christ, but I'm not a fan of Ace Metaphor, and I don't have anything against him though. But I don't feel like he's just the worst, most narcissistic, abusive man on the face of the earth, how people paint him out to be. I feel like he's a lame, and that he's not used to having women, and being him. And so now getting to have money and getting to have and be him, it made him take a stupid pill, and he on one. But I don't feel like he's just this super horrible, malicious, terrible monster that people keep trying to write me and say that he bit the bullet like that come in this culture, in this society, and in this industry. And then what I feel like is people got to learn from that and have personal responsibility and say, you know what, I'm grown. I chose to get in bed with him. I chose to work with him. I chose to condone his messaging every single day. I chose to accept bad money. I chose to do this, and this is what came of it. Let me get a lesson from it so that it never happens again. And that's how life is. Get your lesson and get going. Get your lesson and go on about your business, instead of trying to squeeze blood out of turnip, because you're not finna change somebody like him. He got to go through a life-altering event, and this ain't life-altering enough. He got to go through a life-altering event. It's like when we look at all the men who have been humiliated, which one of them turned their life over to Christ in the industry? None of them. And so that life-altering event, sometimes it's a car crash. Sometimes it's being evicted. Sometimes it's a health scare. Sometimes it's losing a loved one. We never know what's going to bring somebody to their knees and have them cry out for repentance. It definitely ain't a lawsuit, though. It definitely ain't a settlement. It definitely ain't none of that. Ain't none of that. And so as adults and personal responsibility, we get that lesson, and don't just let the people going through it be the people going through it. Apply it to your life and get the lessons in your life so that you don't trip and fall in the way that they have tripped and fell, and move on with more wisdom and discernment. And next time when you hear somebody warning you about somebody, look at that person who warning you. It's a lady who she be warning people about me, but she be on the videos drunk. She be drunk, she be hollering, she be cussing. She's not married, she's not happy, she got nothing going for herself, but she just be attacking people who got something going, but she ain't got nothing herself. That's different than when somebody's speaking up who is living what they teaching, who have the proof in the pudding. And that's where discernment is not that deep, but we don't even process that. We don't even process it. And so it's like just think about it. Like a lot of people don't put that together, like, and say, oh, okay, Tony got 3.5 million followers, but he not doing a tour. But if he got 3.5 million followers, if he did a tour, could he not sell it out? If this person's selling out, this person's selling out, this person's selling out, could he not sell it out? Are his 3.5 million followers online? Oh, okay. So what sense would it make for him to be jealous and hating? And see, people just don't even have that level of common sense. Okay, it ain't like the man Tony talking about is God's gift to women. Do Tony look like the bottom of a shoe? Do he look like he fell off the back of a tomato truck? So he obviously ain't jealous of the man because of looks. He obviously ain't jealous of the man because of talk game. So why would he be jealous and hating? And this is the thing. It's just like people just don't even have it. People don't have basic level discernment, like elementary level discernment. Like I'd be floored. Like, Lord, this the world we live in. This the people who in society. This who raising our kids, and don't have basic level discernment to where you can fund a tour like tonight's conversation, and it could be full of people who are just over broke, going to listen to meaningless conversation when that money could have been put on the stock market or used to start a LLC and start to build generational wealth for their children. They wasting hours and hours and hours consuming this content and spending their money on this content, and yet they have kids and raising kids, and then standing up asking how to suck dang-a-lang. It's like, we got to do better. We got to do better. But hey, God bless you. Keep your head up. I ain't gonna be over here more than an hour. We'll talk soon.